Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete here, and this is my series, Nails in a Coffin, where we learn that with great kills, there must also come great nails. If you are new to my channel, please read what Nails in a Coffin is all about in the section down below, because these videos really aren't film reviews, rather a breakdown of the kills and evaluate how well the victim responded to their attack using Nails in a Coffin like a star rating system. Cool. So, you saw the title of this video. Last week, I covered George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. So, of course, we gotta cover its sequel, 1978's Dawn of the Dead. Night of the Living Dead had an average nails in a coffin of 1.71, which was definitely on the higher side of the nails in a coffin averages for all the movies I've covered. Here's a card for you to check out that video in case you haven't seen it up here. So let's find out how Dawn of the Dead does. So sit back, relax, grab a snack from the food court as we give Dawn of the Dead some nails in the coffin. Chaos is all around as the Philadelphia PD SWAT team raid a low-income housing project. The tenants are defying the martial law of delivering their dead to the National Guard. Our first death is Roy Tucker, a SWAT officer on the roof of the apartment building. Residents barge out of a door and shoot him in the head before anybody can react. Roy gets the first set of nails, and I'm going to give him 1.5 nails in the coffin. You know, he never knew what hit him, but he was on the SWAT team, and I think he should have had his eyes on the door if that's where the threat was going to be coming out of. And on this channel, I do grade law enforcement a bit harsher since I think, they should have had more, experience and stuff dealing with, violent situations. And over here, he just seemed pretty complacent, so I had to take a little bit points off. Not much else to go on, so I'm going to give him 1.5 nails in a coffin. After the residents burst through the door, SWAT team, they open fire. There's gunfire back and forth, but SWAT is able to kill 3 residents in pretty quick succession. Then a 4th is stopped by Roger. They have a short stand-up, staring at each other back and forth. Maybe he's going to give himself up, but nope. He tries to run, he's shot, and then he falls off the building. I'm rating all 4 of these guys at the same time, and I'm going to give each of them 2 nails in a coffin. So when rating kills on this channel, I try and put myself in the shoes of the victim. Thinking, hey, why did they do what they did? But as far as I can see, these guys were just defending their home from what they perceived as a threat. The National Guard was invading their home because they didn't want to follow martial law. So I got to give him some credit for that because it probably took a lot of courage to go charge, to go try and fight the SWAT team. I would have given him a little more, but I feel charging out of the door of the roof was a little overzealous. I would have taken more of a defensive posture, but I respect what they were fighting for. Whether you agree with their stance or not, it's respectable. So I'm going to give them 2 nails in a coffin apiece. SWAT then gasses the building as team members don their gas masks. They rush into the building all armed with assault weapons. Officer Woolley has gone apeshit, and he's just killing people indiscriminately. He kills 2 more men unprovoked, shooting 1 in the chest, then kicking a door open and blowing another guy's head off. I'm also going to give these guys 2 nails in a coffin apiece. One was running out of the building like I was told to do so, and the other was in his apartment and had the door kicked open before he could react. He was killed because of a racist piece of shit. Both of them died because of that. They were actually following orders, trying to do what they were supposed to do, and they did nothing wrong or stupid here. So when that happens, I go down the middle and give the person 2 nails in the coffin. SWAT Officer Roger sees that Officer Woolley has snapped and he tries to stop him. It's not too easy, and Roger's pretty much getting tossed around. Another SWAT team member, Peter, shows up and tells Roger to step away from Woolley. Woolley shakes Roger off of him, and this gives Peter the chance to shoot Woolley dead. This scumbag deserved to die, but I don't rate how well they deserve to die or not. But just based on his decisions, 0.5 nail in the coffin to this crap bag. He was too much of a racist POS to give him 1 nail in the coffin. He was killing just to kill, not following orders. It was 100% his actions that led to one of his team members having the result to putting him down, killing him, because of how stupid he was acting, and I can't give anybody more than 0.5 nail in the coffin for that. As SWAT officers continue to clear the building, one woman rushes into the arms of her husband, unaware that he's dead. As they're holding, he bites into her shoulder, and that's going to kill her. I'm going to give this unnamed woman 1.5 nails in a coffin. Not sure how she didn't know, her husband Miguel was infected. He was pale blue, which is what zombies looked like at the time, I imagine. I guess I feel she should have known better to rush into his arms without looking at him first or without noticing he was infected. But considering the circumstances and the chaos that everything was going around, she was probably terrified. She didn't look that it was her husband that she loved, so I'm going to give her the extra 0.5 nail for that and give her 1.5 nails in the coffin. Traumatized with everything going on, a young cop unalives himself with his pistol. We don't see it, but we do hear the shot. On this channel, in some cases, I just prefer not to rate victims if they unalive themselves. So I'm going to give this young cop a pass. All the deaths happen in the first 11 minutes of the movie. Now, we don't get to our next death until about the 90-minute mark, where now Peter, Roger, Steven, and Francine are holding up in the Monroeville Mall. Moving on to our next death. So to help secure their position in the mall against the horde of zombies, Peter and Roger use trucks to block the entrances to the mall. Roger is crossing over between two of the cabs of the trucks while Francine is giving him some cover fire. He drops a bag, he jumps down to get it before he can get back up to safety. A zombie bites him on the hand, pretty much just sealing his fate. Roger doesn't turn for a while, but he will, so we're going to nail him now, and I'm going to give him one nail on the coffin. It was a big mistake for him to jump down and grab that bag. The zombies would have left it alone, and it wasn't that important to get risking his life. They could have cleared the area and gone get him back to get it. You know, he wanted to go back for the bag. It just wasn't the right time. Now, I could understand there were medical supplies in there for Francine or something, but it was just his bag from what I can tell. Nothing worth risking your life over. So he did make a few mistakes, wasting time shooting zombies, just pretty much being reckless, leaving the bag in the truck and then going back for it and dropping it, jumping down and getting it. All those reasons adding up is why he's only going to get one nail in the coffin. Now we jump to the historic climax of George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, where the motorcycle gang try to take over the mall. There's a lot of kills in quick succession, so let's get to it. Now, before the motorcycle gang actually infiltrate the mall, we get the movie's iconic tagline said by Peter, played by Ken Foray.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
While Steven is teaching Francine to fly the helicopter, which was a very smart decision, we see the gang watching from afar. They like what they see, and they're going to go take it. The bikers have now invaded the mall, causing chaos and destruction all over, but they are taking out some zombies in the process. During the melee, Peter slides into the prone position, takes out one biker with his rifle before the lights go out. He gets up, runs to the rope ladder, and he shoots one more gang member before retreating up into the air ducts. These two unnamed bikers are getting one nail in the coffin apiece. They were very careless in all their actions, running out in the open, knowing someone with a firearm is trying to kill you. Act like they thought they were untouchable. They were just being dumb victims in the movie, I guess, that Carnage candy. They paid the price for it, and neither one of these had any sense at all, so I can only give them one nail in the coffin apiece. One of the most memorable characters in the entire film, Blades, played by genre legend Tom Savini, is next to die. He's fighting off some zombie by the edge of a railing on the second floor. He looks up just in time to see one of the air vent covers open. It's Peter, who takes aim with his rifle, shooting Blades, causing him to fall down to his death. Blades was a wild one, and he's awarded 2 nails in the coffin. He took out a good amount of zombies before he was actually killed himself. He was also surrounded by the undead when Peter showed up in the air vent. He did pull his pistol out to shoot Peter while he was holding off a zombie with his other arm. And he was just unable to get his shot off in time. If he wasn't busy with all the zombies at this time, I'm sure he would have survived longer. But he was one of the more intelligent men, if you want to call it, I guess. So, but I do feel 2 nails in a coffin is a fair rating for Blades, considering what he had to deal with at the time. Peter shoots one biker off the back of his bike, but the shot doesn't kill him. He then makes a nice long distance shot, shooting another out of a sidecar. They both fall wounded to the ground. The one that was shot out of the sidecar is overrun by zombies and eaten. And then we see another unnamed biker mauled by a horde of zombies. And the first guy that fell off the back of a bike, he's also mauled by a group of zombies. The 2 guys that were shot off the bikes, I'm going to give them 2 nails in a coffin apiece. I know it sounds a little high, but they were trying to leave the mall when they were shot. And they were actually passengers on these bikes. They were also dealing with the horde of zombies. They were reckless, don't get me wrong, but I'm not really going to take into consideration them being part of the gang or anything like that. Over here, I just didn't see them doing anything stupid, and they were trying to leave at the time, so I'm going to give them some credit for that, and I feel 2 nails in a coffin is warranted. The biker that we see getting mauled at the last second, I don't have a lot to go on, so I'm going to give him 1.5 nails in a coffin. We just see him surrounded and then overtaken. He's only on screen for a few seconds, so I'm just going to hedge my bets here. I've rated a lot of kills, so I'm pretty safe giving him 1.5 nails in a coffin. Now on to one of the most famous kills in the entire franchise, Pedro, the blood pressure guy. For reasons, in the middle of a horde of zombies, he checks his blood pressure, his arm gets trapped, and he's eaten. You may know where I'm going with this one. I have to give him this rating. 0 nails in a coffin.
You're stupid! I'm stupid! I'm stupid!
I have no choice. The mall is being overrun by a horde of zombies, and you pause to check your blood pressure? There is no reason in all that is holy for him to have done this a second time during the raid. It was pure stupidity, 100%. It's the last thing anybody ever should have done. If this is not a 0 nails in a coffin kill, I'm not sure what else is. Stephen was shot and injured, and he was hiding on the roof of an elevator cab. He drops down into the cab and calls Peter to let him know his status. Peter tells him to get on the roof of the cab and he'll come get him. Stephen tries to climb back up on the roof of the cab, but his arm is too injured. Before he can get to the roof, the doors open to the elevator and he is bitten. Stephen gets actually the last set of nails for Dawn of the Dead, and he's taking 1 nails in a coffin with him. When the raid started, Peter, the trained SWAT team member, told Stephen to get to one of the balconies, since there's a vantage up there since the raid was all on the first floor. But he didn't. He was acting like Mr. Poopy Pants because the gang was taking their stuff. So he went down to the first floor to take shots at them, which resulted in him being outnumbered, him getting cornered in the elevator, where he climbed up and then was shot in the arm. And it was also him who took the first shot at the gang in the first place, probably resulting in their retaliation. So I was really confused to what he was thinking, so 1 nails in a coffin feels right for Stephen. The movie ends where you'd think Peter is going to unalive himself, but at the last second he has a change of heart and he's able to get up to the roof, right as Francine is taking off in the helicopter. Peter appears on the roof and he jumps in, gets into the helicopter with Francine, and they fly off into the morning sunrise. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all my nails in a coffin for 1978 Dawn of the Dead. Here's a summary of all the nails I've awarded. And here is the average nails in the coffin for 1978 Dawn of the Dead, which is 1.5 nails, which is right where I kind of expected it to be for a zombie movie. A good balance of really stupid kills and people just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Here's a quick comparison with the average nails in the coffin with Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Night of the Living Dead a little bit higher, but I did give out 2 ratings in that one that were 3 nails or higher. In Dawn of the Dead, it did have a little bit more kills. A lot of more stupid ones I will add, and the highest rating I gave was 2 nails in the coffin. So, like I see it coming in just a little bit lower. Tune in next week where we get to see where Day of the Dead compares. It's been a while since I've seen that one, but as I'm writing this script, I'm just going to take a guess. I don't know it yet. I'm going to guess that it's going to have an average of 1.53 nails in a coffin. We'll see how close I get next week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and put your guess down in the comments below. Until then, take care, stay safe, be good to each other. I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete, and remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.